Real talk, if you're a dude who is optimizing to be optimal, I promise you that is a prescription for the mediocre. Being optimal will keep you average, therefore giving you average results and probably an average looking life. I'm not saying that because, bro, if you want to be the man, listen to me. Not what I'm saying. However, if you are optimizing, hate that word, to be effective, that is how you become exceptional. That is how you have results that are well beyond what you believe is possible. Watch this video to see how. I'm glad you clicked on this video today. You want to know why? Because this is going to be your mantra going into 2025 to surpass everybody and to completely wipe the floor with all of your competition in 2025. Let's talk. Much better. All right, video topic of the day is about aiming to be effective, optimizing to be effective, not optimal. Do you want to know why? It's quite clear. People have been really in 2024, I notice, in 2023, and even then the amount of questions I get about optimal way of training. Optimizing to be optimal is what is keeping you average. This is 100% fact. It's unbelievable to me how I see so many people doing this and they're underwhelmed with the results, but because a piece of paper told them that this is optimal, they'll stick with it, despite not seeing results for years. I'm gonna tell you something about working out. If you're not seeing results after a couple months, you should be seeing results, to be honest with you, within the first month if you're doing it properly. And this is coming from someone who talks about and preaches doing everything the long, strenuous way. But it's because it's an easier way of wording it, because by taking the long route, you actually get there quicker because you're not shortcutting anything. You're learning everything proper. I need my protein shake. By the way, fresh off of training, it's 10:30 at night. Is it optimal to train that late? Probably not. But is it effective to just every single day I get up and I train? Yeah. You want to know why? Because I use training for the tool that it is. You want to know what that tool is? Morphing my mind. That is why I train. Of course, I train to have bigger muscles. Of course, I train to lose fat. Of course, I train to get stronger, to be more fast twitch, to have more mobility, to become a physical specimen. Of course. If the results weren't good enough, I would not use this tool. But because I get so much out of doing this one thing, training, that is why I do it, because it is effective. It allows my mind to stay sharp. It allows me to stay at the top of my game. It allows me to callous my own mind to where I am just a much more competitive, better version, people like to word it this way, of myself in every regard. Regardless of my physical, right, how I show up, my physical stature, how I look, how I wear clothes. Those are amazing side effects. But that's why I choose very minimal things in my head as must-dos. I am not allowed to not train in a day. Of course, there's some days if I'm traveling for 24 hours straight, it's pretty tough to find, a way to start doing push-ups in the middle of an airport. I'm not that guy, I'm just gonna be completely honest. I find that a bit obnoxious, but no matter what, if I have the ability to train, I will train. And I'll give you an example. This entire week it's been raining, and my setup workout equipment is outside. Most people be like, it's raining this week, I'm just gonna forget it. I literally found these 45 minutes where everything was dry, and that even though it was colder, what I know cold to be is back home is like 0 degrees Fahrenheit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real cold back there. But here it's sub 50, still pretty cold to work out outside and train. I don't care. I just know it's so effective for my personal system. And that's the key, my personal system, because it's my playbook. However you need to do things and what works for you and how you like to do things and where you're most productive is the way to do it. Stop borrowing other people's playbooks for yours. This is why I have a problem with being optimal, because it defeats the purpose of training. Of course, there's some people like, I like training just to train. I love the idea of muscle growth. It's fascinating to me, in which case do your thing. But I know that 99% of you are doing this for a certain result. And that result, honestly, if it wasn't big muscles weren't cool to you, you probably wouldn't do it, right? None of us would do it, obviously, because there is a huge benefit to it that you can see. But it's because it's reflecting, I have worked so hard at this thing. and I'm putting in work and I can see that my hard work is paying off. That gives you confidence. You want to know why? Because confidence is done and earned through doing hard things. This is why being effective will always run laps around being optimal. The effective guys, the guys you look at, like, look at this moron, dude. He's just going in and just slamming weights. I guarantee you that guy's probably in better shape than the vast majority of people doing it the intelligent way. The high society of working out, the real weightlifters, the science-based guys. I have no problem with their process because it's their process. But the issue is they're trying to tell you how to do things and that your way is wrong according to science literature. But guess what? Science literature is for the mediocre. I'm telling you this right now. I, in my own head, want to do things that have never been done before, right? I'm not talking much in like weightlifting. I'm talking about with this page and where I want to take it. And I got so frustrated the other day because I realized that nobody had the answer to my playbook. What I'm trying to do, no one's ever done. So how can I look to anybody else? I did the same exact thing with my natural arc. Same exact thing. I have no problem with people wanting to do their own thing and try this, try that. But I knew when I looked around, nobody had achieved what I actually wanted to achieve with my own body, naturally. Nobody. And I couldn't find the correct answers because it was either hypertrophy guys that were just all about hypertrophy. It was either the guys that are talking about just becoming an athlete and being fast. And then you have these other guys that are talking about yoga and hot Pilates. And in my head, I'm like there are magical things about each one, but why hasn't anyone been able to do all of them? And that's why for a while I was like, forget it. It's just not possible. If it hasn't been done, it's not possible. And that's where I came up with my greatest answers. When nobody else had the answer for me, because what I wanted had never been done, at least the way I've seen it. I have never seen it done the way I want it done. It forced me to go to the drawing board and be like, all right, time to experiment. Try this, try that. And all of this to be one thing. I just wanted to be effective for my goals. That is why I train every single day. Most people would tell you, there's no way you could do that, bro. There's no way you're working out with real intensity. Oh, dude, if you're doing that, dude, then you have to be taking. Like, there's always a cope. And that's when you know you win. They can't wrap their minds around the fact that you are doing something that they have never seen. That, to me, is everything. I don't care about what anyone else says, but when you can see the circuiting breaking in other people's brains, because they just can't fathom how it's possible, you're winning. That's why I tell you guys, everything I'm explaining to you are just more things to pinpoint you to really gather, okay, this is my personal system, this is how I operate. Just because someone's like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and winners wake up at 5 a.m., bro, maybe you wake up at 10. Winning is winning, regardless of what time you wake up. I know winners that wake up at noon, and I know losers that wake up at 5 a.m. I know winners that work out every single day. I know losers who work out every single day. Do you want to know why? Because the features that you're chasing aren't going to make you into the man you want to be. That's not how that works. You yourself have to turn yourself into a winner, because guess what? When you start winning, people then start to look to your features. And then you'll realize when they're looking at you, you're like, that's not what got me here. It's just a part of my personal system. You don't have to do things the way I do them. And then people are like, oh, bro, you just like, you're gatekeeping, bro. And no one really tells me that because I share everything, right? Like, if you look at my page, it's a freaking encyclopedia of everything, right? But my point is people can't believe how simple the answers actually are, but they're hard. They're not complex. They're just difficult. There are 1,000, 10,000 iterations of the same thing over and over and over again. And then when you want to move up a level, guess what? You have to create those answers if they've never been done the way you want them to be done. This is why optimizing, unless you care to not have a mediocre life, and to not be mediocre, and I'm not talking down on people this way. There are some people who genuinely just, and I'm honest to God, I'm not saying this facetiously. I wish I could just be satisfied with the norm. I wish. I can't do it. It's a living hell for me. And that's why I have this page. It's for people that are genuinely outliers. For the rest of you, it might just be like, hey, I like the way he teaches about this specifically. I like the way he articulates this specifically. I like his workout stuff. I like his, you know, sit down talking videos. I like his grocery haul. I like when he talks about diet. But there are some of you who I know I'm probably talking to a part of you that has never been spoken to in your life. And that's because you are inherently different from the people around you. That's me. That's why I made this page, because you are an outlier. I'm not saying that to gas you up. I'm saying that because it's the truth. But guess what? The line of the winner and the loser is so fine, because the opposite of winner ain't loser. The opposite of winner is mediocre, believe it or not. Because the ability for me to be a loser or winner, I was either going to be the biggest winner in my life or the biggest loser in my life. And that's how it works. For people like this, that's how it works. You're either going to win bigger than you could possibly imagine or lose heavily. But guess what? For you, and you know this deep down, you'd rather be the loser than mediocre. If you had to choose between being a loser and mediocre, you would choose loser. You'd rather be at the bottom of the ocean than in the middle. Because that's where you just, in your head, this is where I die. I can't do things this way. And this is for the select few. Some of you guys might like the optimal way of lifting, but for the select few of you that truly want to do something that is undeniable and be unforgettable and genuinely care about everything else besides themselves, they put literally whatever the mission is in their head, the pursuit to the top of the mountain, whatever that is for you, ahead of your own well-being, this is who it's for. You need to start aiming to be effective and stop taking other people's playbooks of writing down in your journal your goals for 2025. That ain't going to do it for you. You need to find something that sets your heart on fire, because I promise you, coming from someone, and we'll use working out as an example, who works out every single day, twice a day typically, as intensely as possible, pushes his body, his mind. I don't sleep that great. I work my absolute ass off. Training is a break for me, believe it or not. And I'm doing that twice a day. I am telling you, it's because my heart has been set on fire. I can do things differently than the rest of these jabronis. And it's because I finally found something that has occupied my heart completely. For the first time in my life, I have found something that set my heart on fire, and that is a huge part of the journey. You think it starts when I find it. No, you're actually in the journey right now of finding the thing that sets your heart on fire, because once you do, you'll never let it go. And the more you bleed for it, the less you'll take advantage of it or take it for granted when it comes. Trust me, it's all a part of the plan, but you cannot tap and you cannot quit. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope this is well worth your time. Honestly, I'm really feeling a shake right now. Every time I would take a slug in the middle of that, I'm like, oh, fuck. I kind of just want to end this video and slug this down. But I was talking from my heart. That shake is unreal. I'll put it in the description, by the way. Anyways, if there's anything you guys want specifically, let me know. I'm thinking about doing my first vlog, and that sounds just so sus to me. Like, look where I'm at, bro, you know, but I'll make it not, I'll make it not sus. I'm not trying to break YouTube laws here, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But if there's anything you guys want specifically, please drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments, please give those a thumbs up. And that way I don't want to make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love y'all very much. I appreciate you being here. Let's make this the best year yet. Let's make it count, all right? Uncle Rami, the Natural Crusader, out. Peace.